Hey everybody, today is July 2nd, 2021. I'm Gene.
And I'm Zane.
And welcome to Hanging with Uncle.
How you doing, man?
Man, it has been a week.
Bruh, all over the place. Like, my portfolio, the news.
Yeah. I mean, just put on your track shoes because we got a lot of current events to cover in a very short amount of time.
Yeah, we got a few things to talk about today. I actually want to get right into it, too, because of how many things that we got. Robinhood's back in their conversation again.
I'm sorry. We almost did a party foul. Woo! Here we go. All right.
Almost did it.
All right. We got so much to talk about. So this is Purple Punch.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, it crossed the finish line at 19%, but as you know, the THC is not the be all end all.
Oh, not at all. No,
and
the THC doesn't necessarily define it. One of the heavy hitters that I know at LA Confidential sits at 19%, and that thing puts me to bed. Better than most melatonins.
Yeah.
So, we're going to get back to talking about our good friends Robinhood.
Oh, God, here we go. So we always cycle back to old topics. Let me
yeah,
start.
oh yeah, we always end up coming back. Robinhood's back in the news because, yes, they're still talking about, the bad things they did prior.
Fuck Robinhood.
Yes, fuck Robinhood. With AMC and GME, they made people unable to trade, basically, when there was a hype going on and everything like that. Further along, we found out that they didn't have enough money to back all that was going into it, so they ended up stopping it, which is still not okay, because by their own, their company motto is that everyone gets free trading. Free trading. Everyone's able to trade.
And what's free? Is anything really free?
I mean, no, that's what I've been raised off of.
Right. So,
not everything's free, no.
Here's a lesson. So, Robinhood got in trouble with FINRA, which is the Financial Industry Regulatory Authority. Yep. And long story short, they were able to get remedies of $57 million from Robinhood.
Something like that, yeah. So what mainly happened was the main premise was they didn't educate their users on how to use the app. Someone somewhere, I don't know how the suit got through, whichever, won their suit saying, I wasn't educated enough, you didn't teach me how to use it, you didn't tell me I owed you money in options still.
Right.
I did not know anything about this, so I'm going to win this lawsuit. So that's mainly where it comes down to. The Financial Industry Regulatory Authority, FINRA, they're looking into these instances because Robinhood not educating these people and not teaching them how to properly use their app. Mm-hmm. They essentially stole money from these people.
They're operating under the caveat of buyer beware, and that has been ruled out of our legal system for a long time. So
yeah, a lot of people bought into options, and options are basically they pinpoint a price, and then they have to pay a certain percentage, a lower percentage. But at some point, it's either you choose to buy at that price or you don't choose to buy at that price.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little more complicated than that, but yeah, you have options mean rights. I have the right to do this because I did that.
So some people put options down in some stock. They owed a certain percentage still. And when they found out that, they thought that they didn't know the percentage existed, they owed money. They ended up owing money in instances, and they feel like money was stolen from them. And honestly, I feel the same.
So, that's why, again, we always say pay yourself, but know where to pay yourself. Anything that offers free trading, stay away from.
Oh man, Gene, what a perfect segue. Because speaking of knowing where to put your money and to pay yourself, there's also a scandal going on with Bitcoin. Well, not necessarily Bitcoin, but just cryptocurrency itself. Yes. Right. There's a lot of people who may not know who they are, but there's a group called FaZe, right? They're an esports organization, and they sponsor gamers and make them professionals. They pay them to play games underneath their name. Okay, FaZe has been around for a long time. People would yell, FaZe Clan, when they were playing Call of Duty and all the nonsense. That's what they were called at the time. They would do crazy shots and all the nonsense. But they're in the news now with cryptocurrency because 5 players of theirs, maybe 4, if I'm not mistaken, 4 players and a streamer, I apologize, have been suspended and 1 fired due to their cryptocurrency scandal that they've been through. One player, I'm not going to do names particular because this is something you can look up and educate yourself on too.
Right.
One player actually has had history of doing it. They would back up smaller cryptocurrencies, smaller, coins per se, and say, hey, with our I'm going to break it down for you. 5 of these people have 50 million followers altogether. 50 million. Okay, so if I'm in this crypto space where I'm doing this, they're already bought in. They already have the money. They already have everything in on it. The bar on this cryptocurrency is high because they see how much money is put into it. People are excited. Like, do it. It's for a good cause, blah, blah, blah. This one was for Save the Kids, essentially what it was called. This money was going to go towards children. Percentages were going to go towards the kids.
Right.
And for donations.
You know it's going to get a spike.
Definitely, right? And people took traction on it. Like, okay, yeah, for the kids, sure. We'll buy this currency. We'll put money towards it. And then it crashed the next day.
And why did it crash?
Well, all these phase members and also streamers pulled out immediately the day after when all of their fans hopped in and bought into the space.
So they bought the volume, raised, got the price to go up. They cashed out and left everybody holding the bag.
And peaced out. Yep. They also they planned it for a very long time. It's a crazy story. Go check it out, the phase scandal, because they actually even have a fall guy that they paid. Yeah. They had a fall guy who said that he was the founder of the company,
right,
essentially, but he was the one left with the bag, but he was also getting paid to say that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So check out the phase scandal. And also, like we said earlier, make sure you know where you're putting your money. Even though cryptocurrency is a huge thing these days and everyone's talking about it.
Pay attention.
Pay attention to your safe space, right? Make sure you know where you're putting your money. I pay commission fees when I put my money into my stock.
The internet is a beautiful thing. It's too easy to look up things.
Yeah, absolutely. Make sure you pay yourself. It's Friday. It's been a good day today.
Yes. Speaking of, we just bought another stock, and again, I'm not going to mention names. I'm not a professional, and I don't want anybody taking advice from me, but
absolutely,
the dips. Buy the dips. I bought some more shares, and
I mean, we don't even follow our own advice half the time, but I'm not half the time. Maybe there's some moments where we fall off the rails and we hit back onto our track. We have noticed that our strategy is the strategy for us in our way that we want to go into trading, right?
Right.
And when we have fallen off the rails, we've noticed like, oh shit, get back on, because our strategy, we like it. We like how we do it.
It works.
Right. Absolutely. It works for us. Not saying it works for you. It's not advice, again. But, buying the dip does help. It's on sale. That's how I look at it.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Bill Cosby.
Oh, my gosh. All right.
This is a technicality, and unfortunately, I am totally a supporter of every victim that is out there of any type of crime. Period. No one should ever have to be a statistic because somebody else doesn't know how to act right.
True words of an ex-cop right there.
So, unfortunately, for those that don't understand why Bill Cosby walked, it had a lot to do with his Fifth Amendment rights against self-incrimination.
The Miranda rights.
Right. So Bruce Castor, who famously was on Trump's defense team in his second impeachment.
Oh, how the world is small.
Right, was the prosecutor in the Cosby case.
Smaller.
And declined to prosecute, but compelled Cosby to give a deposition in a civil case to where, because now he believes he's not going to be prosecuted, there's no self-incrimination, and nobody advised him anything that he would have said in this civil case would be used against him criminally. And long story short, I mean, that's first-year law school student could have gotten him out of that one.
So he's walking because it wasn't done.
He's walking because of a technicality. I mean, do I believe that the evidence presented against him is true? Absolutely, without a doubt.
Well, because he also admitted it, too.
All I got to say is this good old boy system, they are networked, and this is a perfect example of it.
Our justice system does not function the way it needs to. The man admitted it. He said he did it.
Yeah.
How is he walking? This is as simple as that. That's it. Like, if you admit it, you're in jail. Go.
He's not walking because he's innocent. He's walking on a technicality, and if that's justice, then You know, I picked the wrong profession. I should have been a criminal, you know?
You know what I mean? Like, man, he's not going to be able to go in public. We know that for a fact. He will not be able to go out in public. Like, me personally as a human being, if I were to even see him, I might have to punch him in the face.
Yeah. You know, it's just... again, I'm glad I don't travel in those circles where I'll ever run into Bill Cosby.
Right.
You know?
To all the women out there, it's not a loss. Don't take it as one. You know, it honestly opens up the eyes to those who want to fix the system.
Yeah.
And to see what is wrong with it, too, because this is absolutely disgusting.
The results of a corrupt or unjust justice system does not take away from the truth and validity of what happened.
Absolutely not. That is a fact. There's also, lighter news today about the January 6th Commission, right? You know,
Yeah, and this is kind of important. I don't want to dismiss this as just, hey, they're finally getting their act together and got a commission together.
Right.
Because it goes way deeper than that. You have to ask yourself some questions. And before I need to take care of this and then pass it to you.
Yeah, no worries. No worries. This is some good stuff. Honestly, yeah, I've had Purple Punch before. It may have just been a botched strain because it was a bad experience. But
this is good.
Yeah, I'm feeling this one. This is a good Friday celebration.
Okay, so the January 6th Commission.
Mm-hmm.
2 Republicans voted yes.
Two.
Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger.
Liz Cheney.
Yeah. So. The plot thickens.
I know Liz Cheney.
Remember when we talked about, her a few episodes ago and how Kevin McCarthy and Republicans were treating her just for speaking the truth that Donald Trump lost the election?
Mm-hmm.
It was not stolen. He lost.
Like, plain and simple.
And for saying that, she got stripped of her committee assignments. Well, because... You need 218 votes to pass something in the House of Representatives, and they got 220.
Hey, there we go.
What this commission does is they are a select committee. They have subpoena power, and I believe because this was an attack on the United States, on our democracy, by people wanting to destroy our country. They are not playing on this. And remember all those Republicans in the Senate who voted no to not have a January 6th commission.
It sounds like they're scared.
What are you hiding?
Right.
So remember, and I'm not making this up, this is not conspiracy theory. You can turn on the news, Google it, maps of the Capitol building being distributed prior to the January 6th insurrection.
Man.
So now that they have subpoena power, this select committee, including Liz Cheney, who was on it, and who will also have subpoena power, will be able to, let's just say, for example, pull the phone records of Marjorie Taylor Greene and see who she was in contact with. And were any of those people on her contacts there at the January 6th insurrection?
Wasn't someone texting people's locations?
That's what I'm talking about. That's what they don't want investigated, and that is why this commission is so important, and I'm glad they established it.
It had, like you said, subpoena power. That's good. Bye-bye.
Congress has the authority to jail your ass.
Yeah, see ya.
So
weed them out,
I'm curious to see, because... there will be, I believe, elected officials in the House of Representatives and the Senate that are Republican, that are criminally responsible for what happened and how far the insurrectionists got and their way through the Capitol.
Yeah, police pulled down barriers, like things weren't right that day.
And not only this, so this is something else. Just say, for example, you work in the Capitol building, right? You work in maintenance, or you work in the cafeteria,
right?
Or whatever the hell your job is.
Something simple.
Even if you're a staffer, you're not an elected person. What if you give tours? I mean, whatever your job is, them voting no on this commission and to not have an investigation means they don't care the torture and trauma you went through. It was not just a regular day of tourism.
That's literally what I was thinking. Like, if I was in my own workplace, for example, just a regular place of business, and someone were to come in and have some nonsense shit happen, right? Security flaws out the ass. If that were to happen, I would expect a team, a board, or somebody from the company to be like, okay, this shit happened. How do we fix this? Because that shouldn't happen. Like, simple as that. Like, I would feel secure at my workplace. They'll be like, okay, they noticed that this happened. They want to make it better, and they want to fix it. Like, those people don't want it fixed. They don't want people to find out what actually happened when terrorists attacked our capital.
Yeah.
Like, simple as that. There are people in our government who don't want to find that out. That is simply it. Red, blue, whatever. There are people in our government who don't want us to find out.
And the sad part is, I promise you, 100% of those people that don't want you to find out are on the red team. There's nobody on the blue team that is opposing this. 100% of them in the House and in the Senate, 100% of Democrats voted yes to have this happen.
I mean, they obviously don't have much to hide then.
Exactly. It's all about transparency.
Exactly. I mean, looking at the facts, again, it's plain and simple. As the facts show, like, that's what it seems like. The people who are like, yeah, sure. Look through my papers. I don't care. Look through my phone. Sure. They're cooperative. They obviously aren't going to be a part of it.
Yeah. So, it's like, if that number one shows that they don't care about you or me, they don't care about their oath to the Constitution, because they did not try and defend it.
And to even put it in bigger perspective, I mean, they obviously don't even care about what they're doing. They don't care about their job.
They only care about being in power and staying in power.
Exactly. That's it.
And, honestly, that is not even the biggest thing that came out of Washington. So the Supreme Court handed down two very huge decisions. And one I'm really, really pissed off about, and that is that they upheld our state here in Arizona, their voter suppression bill, upheld it as being constitutional. So, having said that, that means, because I know you and I, we both vote by mail 100% of the time.
Yep.
We participate in the process. It's very, very possible that we are all of a sudden going to get removed from the permanent early voting list. And hopefully they don't kick us off the voter rolling list. I don't want to have to re-register to vote again, but there's a good chance instead of voting by mail, we'll have to stand in line.
I mean, I had to stand in line last year. I didn't get my mail in right away. Remember, I actually had to go and submit mine last year.
Yeah.
But that I also had a weird experience with that because my address didn't match with my driver's license, which is old, and where my parents live, like, address on there. The guy wouldn't let me submit my ballot. I'm like, it was mailed to me. I'm just bringing it here. I'm like, it was given. Like, how did I get this?
Right.
Like, I'm literally putting my address in right here. Like, and it's working.
Yeah.
But since it doesn't match my driver's license, you don't want it to go in. My driver's license has my 16-year-old picture of me on it still. I'm a 29-year-old man who has gray hairs on his face now.
Right. And, honestly, I will say that I have complied with Arizona law because when I moved here from a different state, this is not where I lived, but I got my driver's license and put it at the address where I was living at the time.
Right.
So when we bought our house and moved, I submitted my change of address, but I still have my old driver's license with the old address on it.
Oh, and it works still, right? Yeah, like it's more complications, like we've been talking about. It just feels it's gonna be complicated even more. It's not more simple. It's more complicated.
Right.
Like,
so in that regard, again, Thomas Judge Justice Thomas can kiss my ass. I'm tired of having my right to vote being infringed on, and they can kiss my ass. But the second thing that I want to talk about out of the Supreme Court was the decision written by Clarence Thomas regarding marijuana laws in this country.
Okay. This is a big one.
That is pretty big. So it has to deal with basically tax laws. And so that's federal jurisdiction, and it goes to the Supreme Court.
Okay.
So let's just say, for example, business A is not a cannabis business, right? And business B is a cannabis business. Mm-hmm. Okay, so business A, let's say they want to do some work on their building, and because it's, money spent on infrastructure, you'll get to write it off as a tax break, right? Mm-hmm. Versus business B, because you're a cannabis business, no, your business is not legal as far as the IRS is concerned. Therefore, the same tax benefits that business A is getting are not available to you.
Okay.
And so it creates an unfair tax burden on businesses, and basically has just said, 36, 38 states now have legalized marijuana in some form or fashion.
More of the majority, yeah.
Whether it be legally or recreationally. Mm-hmm. That's the trend. That's where the people want to go.
Yep.
Marijuana laws should be stricken down. They're antiquated because the IRS is the only agency that has teeth that is applying it in the cannabis industry, not the Department of Justice.
I mean, it's already prevalent today that it's affecting today's day and age now that it's not legalized. We literally had a Olympic athlete get pulled from her number one event because she had THC in her system.
Yeah, but it goes deeper than that.
It shocks me. I feel like it's deeper than that because she's representing a country going out to the Olympics, right?
Right.
Proudly representing this country.
Right.
But the fact that the country doesn't want to legalize this, they're also the reason why she can't participate. Like, it's a full circle. Like, she has to be proud that she's representing the U.S., but also upset that the U.S. pulled this away from her.
It's the U.S. Olympic Committee.
Well,
but still,
not even that. But what I'm saying is the U.S. in general. If it was a legalized thing, if there was, like you were saying, if there's no law against it, if rules were able to change it, like we talked about the NBA being more flexible about it. If rules are able to change, this wouldn't be an issue. Our fastest athlete in the 100-meter dash is not able to participate because of something that slows her down.
And she was in a legal jurisdiction when she partook.
And also, matter of fact, there's no excuse. I mean, understand the rules, right? And she even said there's no excuse. She understands the rules. But she was going through the death of her mother. She is coping.
Yeah.
People drink when they cope.
The world is not black and white.
No. You can't tell this girl how to cope. Me, I am a medical card holder because not only do I have ailments like with my shins and my knees and my back, but I feel like anxiety kind of it haunts me a little bit. And this does help me feel better in moments where I have high anxiety. I understand where she goes to cope. I understand that she needed this to cope because I needed to cope at some times.
But I think the big takeaway from this is that the co-equal branch of government, the judicial branch coming from the Supreme Court of the United States, is shooting a shot across the bow of the legislative branch saying, we want it legalized, get off your ass and legalize marijuana.
Right. And it's not even just affecting celebrities and those people too.
Yeah, just do this shit. I mean, let's create a fair business environment. You say you're pro-business, Republicans, right? Then authorize it and vote yes on marijuana legalization.
I've been saying it. It's the next cash crop to our country. You can make so much money through tax alone with just this product. And yet people are still afraid to move forward and advance through it. Legalization would affect so many people. I have a friend who her husband works for a dispensary. And I found out the other day, that he was he doesn't have direct deposit because banks, since federally it's illegal, banks don't partake with transaction with that. You have to pay with cash when you go into a dispensary still.
Right.
So banks don't want any involvement with something that's federally illegal, right?
Correct.
So this man is not like he can't get direct deposits. He has to go wait at a bank to go and cash his check.
Impeding his livelihood.
Yeah, and not even just that. They went to go purchase a car the other day, and the bank denied loans for them because of his job.
Yeah. Here I am working, contributing to society, doing a job legal, but I can't do business.
I mean, I don't pry with personal information like that. I didn't ask how taxes work, but like when I was like, what do they even? Does he pay taxes for that at the end? Like, how does that work? She goes, honestly, I don't even know. Like,
yeah,
he hasn't worked a full year for it to happen. She goes, like, I literally was thinking about it that way. If then meaning that federally illegal, it affects not only what banks do with the dispensary and it affect them with buying a car. Like,
right.
What does it affect? His taxing?
It affects, like you just say, you hit the nail on the head. Not only does it affect us criminally, legally, but I mean monetarily and in how we do business and how businesses look at us for credit because of where we earn our money. That's just wrong. It needs to end. It needs to be legalized. And I'm going to cut it short on that one because I want to move to the next topic, which is Alan Weisselberg.
All right, let's get it.
So, Weisselberg is
We're talking about money again.
Yeah. He's the chief financial officer, the CFO for Trump, and has been for 2 or 3 decades, right? He was arrested on 15 different charges, from larceny to fraud, tax evasion. There's a lot of charges on that. Now, Trump himself is not named or charged. And even if, let's just say, worst case scenario, Weisselberg does not flip. The Trump organization, because it also is charged, goes out of business. And that means all the loans that the Trump organization has, those loans will be called in. Trump does not have the money to pay those debts. He'll have to go into bankruptcy and live under a bridge someplace.
Jeez.
Pretty much. I mean, they'll seize Mar-a-Lago, tell them to get the fuck out.
Right.
So it's important. I mean, maybe not criminally. Maybe he's not going to go to jail, but I mean, at least in jail, he get 3 meals a day. How the fuck's he going to eat with no money? Really, what's worse,
Right, yeah, what's worse? I mean, good. I mean, they're moving forward with that as well. I mean, I feel like it's one of those like mob movies. You have to get the little guy and then work your way in, your way in. So,
But honestly, I think there is a crack because one of those illegal things was when the campaign things were going on, right? When he was like paying off Stormy Daniels. And one of those checks was signed by Weisselberg and Don Jr. So they're, it's like they're in a lot of trouble. I'll leave it at that because we got one more thing to talk about.
My Phoenix Suns are in the finals now. Yes.
Those Suns.
Oh my gosh. Like, I can finally be super hype about it because the karma is there. Everything happened. Like, our ritual, the Suns playoff ritual shit that could possibly happen to them happened. Broken noses. We had injuries. We had COVID. Like, everything happened to us throughout the playoffs. Now, finally, we're in the finals since 1993 when I was 1 year old. I'm sporting a team that I've been supporting since day one. I had a Kevin Johnson jersey as a baby. My mom gave me one. Yes. Like, I can't even say it anymore. Like, finally. We did call it.
We did call it.
We called it. Rewind if you want to. We called it.
That's right.
But, yes. Now, it's between the Bucks and the Hawks. I don't care which one. I feel like if they play the Hawks, it's going to be high-powered offense, fun to watch, showmanship, everything that works. If it's the Bucks, it's going to be raw, nitty-gritty finals basketball.
I'm not an odds maker, but I would say if I had to pick a choice, I would say that the title is coming west again.
Suns in 4, baby.
I think the Suns are definitely going to win. And on that note,
let's go.
Man, we ran through the gamut of topics today, didn't we?
And we did. We hit it. We hit all the topics today. Follow us on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, Spotify. Hit us up if you want to. We'll try to reach out back to you. I'm Zane.
I'm Gene.
It's been Hanging with Uncle.
We'll see you next week.
Peace.